Oh, really? There we go. How's that? How's that? Okay. Hello. Good morning. Welcome to what I'm calling a miniature series. Is that because it's small? No. It's because I have a bit of a problem. So, one of the first bits of art I ever put online when I was solely on Clip Clop, TikTok, years and years ago, was a couple sets of miniatures that I had put together because I love miniatures. And when they started creating little DIY sets, I was very into that. But during the years, I am now happily divorced. I've moved far away from the unsafe place I was in, and I've enjoyed continuing to do miniatures. But the thing is, I have gotten some really beautiful miniatures for Christmas this year. Okay, are we done? Are we done? We're done. I've gotten some really beautiful miniatures this year, and for Christmas, and I really would like to work on them because, I've got a lovely little bookstore. I've got a secondary bookstore that's a different bookstore. You sense a theme. I used to be a librarian, and I miss that. And then an abandoned submarine because I love the ocean. But the thing is, not only do I have my two original miniatures that are broken because they were not handled correctly during the divorce, which we won't get into, but I also have a secondary trunk back here that has two additional unfinished miniatures that need to be worked on. Hi. So before I want to start these new miniatures I have gotten this year, I think it's really important that I actually go through the process of fixing these poor guys. So let me see. One of these is like a little, I guess you could call that a garden, a lovely little garden. And then the second one of these is like a tea shop. So in my little miniature series, we're just going to go through the process of first fixing these two that were initially finished but need to be redone. There's pieces that are completely, obliterated and require some long-term fixes. And then in the bigger chest are the two miniature sets that I have not finished yet, but I've just been, slowly working on. So I've got a lot of like furniture that's all done. I've got, I guess this one is partially a bakery as well. Bakery and an apothecary. So a lot of little fun things to work on. Oh, I love this little table too. So welcome to just a new little tiny mini series, literally and figuratively. But yes, yeah. This is gonna just be sporadically sprinkled in with all of my other little Let's Draws and covers and art for art's sake. So there we are. Also, shout out, I used to have 3 of these chests. If you open it, it says Alana's Treasure Chest on the inside. Because these are from like when I was a toddler and recently adopted into this family. So one of the only things that have survived that long, along with my Teddy, which is my little bear. And then I think that's like, those are the only things that are still here besides me from the beginning of the adoption. So yeah, let's get started. So one of these has obviously fared a little bit better than the other. I think I will deal with my little tea time last because my favorite of the two, the outdoor garden certainly has the hardest time moving forward. And now I think it's really that's just my cat, don't worry. I think it's really perfect that I have this little bit left over because I was doing math on it for a different project. Because without this, I don't know if I would remember what this is supposed to look like. But yeah, tell me all about it, girl. We will forge forward regardless. This is an excellent example of how just sitting down and doing the damn thing will yield wonderful results, because I thought this was going to take me hours, and it really only took me about 45 minutes or so to just go through the process of figuring out where everything went, of gluing it down with good glue, and then just sitting there and holding things together so that they properly adhered. Okay, I need to wait for everything to dry a little bit before we can go much further with finishing my outdoor garden. But I was looking through all of my bits and baubles because there are some things that are just not here anymore, and I need to like fill it in to make it what I'd like it to be. But I had completely forgotten that one of the miniature projects that I started without a kit, just of my own, like all of the extras for different projects that I had done. I started a miniature of the house, of the duplex that I was living in with my ex-spouse. And looking back, I've had to do like a lot of like healing and therapy and things for like what that part of my life was. And I still really can't think of anything good that happened, like, at all, which is not sad, is just a statement. But the one good thing that I can recall for my entire time being up there are the places that I lived. I am very connected to the earth that I like am living on, and to the houses and the dwellings that I am within. So I think the best part of all of that is that beautiful little blue house in Portland that I was living in. So I like made, this was like the pretty accurate representation of the front fence that we had, and then the actual front of the house, and I had our little bay window and the steps going up the front. Yeah. So I really don't know what I'm gonna do with this. This is like I'm really impressed with this silly little fence, so I'm gonna do something with it. It isn't necessarily going to work for the long-term project that I'm working on. What day is this going up? Oh, I can talk about it because this is going up after I've started my Jane Eyre series. So this isn't gonna work for Jane Eyre because it's like way too contemporary. Almost reminds me of like a horse. Damn, I can't think of the word, but you know what I'm talking about. But I want to do something with these bits and baubles, even if it's not like recreating the duplex that I lived in. Although this is pretty solid. I could probably do it if I wanted to. I just don't know if I want to. But I did find the little bits and baubles I need to actually finish up this piece. So I think I've yapped enough. I think we should be able to try and keep gluing. Let's see. So it wasn't recording the last little bit, whatever. But I think I have got at least the outdoor garden pretty well put back together. Got a few new little bits and bats. I have no idea where that piece went, so the little water pail that I made is just gonna go up there. I do not care, it works fine. I still need to do a little bit of paint touch up because there's some parts where I can just tell that things were ripped and then painted back and then like plastered back together. But I'm pretty proud of this. I think it looks real nice. This is one of the spots where I'm sure no one else in the world is gonna notice it, but I would notice it. So I'm gonna let this dry for a good long time, and in the meantime we're gonna work on our focus, please, thank you, on tea time on Extraordinary Day. In starting this, I realized that I was missing a pretty large component of this one specific set, and that was the fence. Now I used to have an entire an entire path of fencing that went all the way around, and this is all I have left. So I think we're just going to no-go it for the fence, and when I do some color correction for the other piece, the other little guy right there, I think I'm just going to really beef up the grass path on the side, and then a little bit of that brick as well. And that's good. That's fine. It doesn't need to have the brick fencing and everything. I'm just glad she is here with me. She has a much better life here with all of her siblings. Now, I will 100% admit I had no idea how this little green thing came together. So I actually took about 3 minutes to go and Google. I figured out the name of what this set was, and I looked at pictures online so I could figure out how in the hell does this thing go back together. And I figured it out. It's not the worst thing in the world. I wish I had a couple other components that I do not have for this at this point, but I am happy enough with the result. It just feels good to have this finished, to be honest. And with that, I am all done with these two initial miniature sets. It feels really good to have them put back together and finished to a quality that I'm content with. I finished these on the last day of 2024, so a couple weeks before video is going up. But it also kind of feels like the end of like unfinished business, I suppose. The last little bit of me that was broken and tattered and etc. has now been put back together with new insight and new perspective, and I'm just quite proud. I'm proud that I am here where I am right now, for sure. That these little silly DIY projects are finished as well. So I hope you've enjoyed just me blabbering on about this and about that, because it's not blabbering. I'm talking from my heart, and that is what matters at the end of the day. So I guess I'm not going to assign homework. Your homework is to go and make something that you enjoy. Your homework is to go back and look at some of the projects that you have left by the wayside over the years and really want to finish. Because that's what matters at the end of the day, is making sure that you yourself are contented in what you've created and what you've left for the world. So have a beautiful rest of the week. Enjoy the start of this new year. And I don't know, go get some sun. I already feel spring coming, so that's very exciting for me. Take care, you guys.